us. There you go.
Hello everyone. I think we are live without even a cooldown. It was direct.
We just straight away. Let's go.
Straight away. No introduction. No anything.
No introductions
Hello
needed,
everyone. So I think it's working.
I think it's live.
So, yeah.
Imagine you're just talking and like it's still going on. That'd be the best.
That'd be something I'm really able to do, right? So, but
I'm gonna check YouTube. Yeah, we're fine.
It's okay. We're fine. So, how is it going, guys?
Yeah, good. Tired after ETC because I was ill on like the Friday and a bit of the Saturday. But better now. Just practicing for LGT, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it was fun. Travel to and from the event was awful. We almost lost
Yeah.
We had Lewis and Boris both on the plane with us, which got canceled. I'm convinced because Boris was business class because he's a bougie little bitch. Then we managed to get on a new flight, and then we also got delayed on the way back by 3 hours. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So apparently, I guess it happens out of Shipola. There's just a lot of wind. Because Vic was also delayed coming out too, so that was weird.
Did me and Dave on the same flight, and like I got there straight away, and I got back straight away. There was no delays. It was great. Maybe you're just unlucky.
I am definitely unlucky. That much is obvious. I think we all know that. But like, this is the first time I've had proper travel issues before. Usually my travel is pretty smooth. So, yeah, it wasn't fun. I didn't enjoy it. Last time I had travel issues, I lost my suitcase, and it was a very miserable couple days in Poland. I was very grumpy. Anthony will tell you.
I mean, me had, I think, quite a busy week because I went straight up from like hiking in the north of Scotland to the event, like with no transition at home to home. So I went there a bit tired. And then the evening, I took the train that was 1 hour delay to home to directly go to a birthday party of one of my friends and went out the rest of the night. So I had I wake up really late on the Monday, but it was cool. But the event in itself is always nice. I mean, for me, I'm used to go, right? Because it's like 2 hours and a half in train from my place. So it's really easy to get.
It's local. It's like going from London to Birmingham.
Yeah, almost. So let's talk about the play today. So the plan. The idea is to talk about ETC mainly, and then having a brief talked about the Big Four, the French Captain Qualifier. I mean, but the main show will be on ETC, right? Because we were all there. Maybe what I do is I propose we all go through our event without talking about the round we'll be talking about a lot, which was Ignite versus Statcheck, obviously. I mean, we have to talk about it because we were both in one of those teams. We were all in one of those teams.
Yeah, I'm outnumbered. It's like the enemy is right in front of me.
Yeah, it looks like. But I mean, I'm sure you'll be get back in the chats. People will help you, Nassim. Don't worry.
Exactly.
No, they won't.
What do you mean?
What
do you mean, dude?
Stat check. Come on,
dude. I'm the stat checker. You're the enemy. Both of you. I've got numbers on my side.
It's not victory points.
So yeah, I propose we run through our game with outside of the round against Statcheck, and then we go from there.
Yeah, I can start us off. So my round one, we played something subarenas. I feel so bad already.
Mainly mention what you were playing, right?
So, yeah. I played these GSC. It was Biosanctic.
Yeah, but what were you playing with?
I was using EC. Come on, guys.
Remember,
we never.
Emperor's Children. Dude, I was playing Emperor's Children, the classic 2 Demon Princes, Kako of the Flip, which is the correct thing to do regardless of what the Americans say. 3 Infractor squads, 3 Rhinos, Lucius, can't leave him without him, and he's the Warlord, which is also the correct way to do it. And 3 squads of Noise Marines and 2 Tormentor squads. So pretty much classic EC, nothing special, boring standard. my round one, I played Vs Biosanctic, and I saw how he deployed his infiltrates, and I saw how he did his scout moves, and then I just said I'm going to pledge 5-10-1. So I just said I'm going to pledge 5-10-1, and I put the dice there, and he's like, okay. Then he just proceeds to like hit like 9 and 11-inch charges, and I'm thinking he's hit them into rhinos. So I proceed to kill, I think, 800 points 10-1.
So let me get that straight. You went second.
I pledged 5. I pledged 5. I pledged 5. I was like,
show
it's
some
like,
respect, dude.
I was like, I want this to be I want this to be a quick game. I either hit my pledge or I don't. But yeah, so that was fun. Ended up basically screening out the entire board 10-3, so none of the other GSC stuff could come in, and it all died, and then the game was done. So that was fun. Round 2, I played V Slim. It was like from Kings of the Hill. It was a good game. He had his sisters with 30 sacrosancts, and that he was just picking up and reading the rules as he was playing, because they had to replace one of their players, as one of them was sick. And yeah, it was just teaching him the rules as it went along, how precision worked, how the Lord power up works once per game. So that ended up being fine. Then in my third game, I played Visa Nobody. You don't know his name. And then in my fourth game, I played Visa.
Sorry, I just clicked the Mark message, and I was like, "What is my Eminem?"
You're bright, Eminem. You all did. Round 4, I played Visa GK, and I impressively managed to get my Demon Prince killed top of 1. I know I'm good at this game, and
John said he was waiting.
I was like, I managed to lose. I counted it actually, because it was the same GK player that Boris played against, and I managed to lose 840 points before I had my 10-2, because I forgot that paladins, when they heroic, get the +1 damage. So I was like, my Demon Prince is gonna tag these guys here, whatever. No, he did not tag those guys. He in fact did die a very horrid death. Which meant a paladin squad ended up going like 15 inches, and then where the Demon Prince was going to be screening wasn't screened. So I lost a Demon Prince, a Squad of Tormentors, a Rhino, 2 Lords, a Noise Marine squad, 2 Infractor squads, before I had my, as I was going into my 10-2. So that was fun. That was very stressful. And then round 5, I managed to have a nice fun game vs Summer Cursed and vs the Dutch, and managed to do what EC does vs Cursed. It was fine. Just give them a little good afternoon.
Oh, shit.
A little ship. Hello, Governor. London, hello. London, hello.
Welcome to camp, buddy. Yeah.
Welcome to London.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was my rounds basically. Played vs Nobody round 3, so we don't have to cover that yet.
I thought you were about to insult some of the other rounds. I was like, nah, don't do that. So my rounds. Round 1. That's the loudest water bottle I've ever heard. Round 1, we played against. Was it Martine's team? I think. And I played against Drukari. Generally, I think a pretty good matchup for orcs. Drukari don't love it when somebody runs at them with a choppa, especially when that choppa is equipped with fight on death. So I kind of I was set up for, I think, around like a 14 to 15-ish win. The first 3 rounds were all tipping point, hammer and anvil, so it was let's just say that I don't really practice those deployments very often. So it was all kind of new for that. But I opened it up with I think it was like a 4 or 5 inch charge that I rolled Snake Eyes into, rerolling it into a 3. So that was sweet. That brought it down to a 13. But lovely guy. The next round we played against Zusfang. I think I got that pronunciation right. The one of the 2 really good German teams over there. I played against a lovely guy on Ultramarine Gladius. And He had an interesting take. He had a librarian and some blade guard veteran. My cat is making a lot of noise, so hopefully you guys can't hear that.
Just
Played
rejected,
against,
unfortunately.
which was an interesting unit, I think. A lot of mortal defense and stuff was kind of neat, but I think it just generally was a matchup which is hard for Gladius if they are not hard for Gladius to push, and if they make a small mistake, you can capitalize quite well. And so that's kind of what happened. I ended up with that one being about a 14-6. And then I played against at the Statcheck rounds, where I played against Innis, where he had us as a small win, I think. I had as a small win. And then in the middle of deployment, I realized this is not a small win. I'm about to get really badly beaten. So I was like, Liam, lower that score a bit. Just real quickly. Let's put it as a 10, and I'm going to try to hang on for dear life. And then there were a couple unfortunate dice moments, which cost me maybe 3 diff. So I was maybe on track for an 8 after hitting a couple decent advances in my walk turn. So I would say it's not a good matchup. So had that wrong. And then so I ended up losing that, I think 15-5. So that was my one loss of the weekend. And then I played into Kings of the Hill, where I played a super lovely guy on World Eaters, where he played a really interesting and cagey game, where he was. I was leveraging my battle wagons. He had 3 Forge Fiends, and I was really just trying to score as many points as possible, forcing him to kind of commit his army, because whoever committed first was in a favorable position. But as Liam will go into more detail in his game, he got a pretty big swing up in this round, and then it kind of let me, left some gas in what was otherwise probably a pretty drawy game. And so I pushed, and he made a slight mistake, which was he decided to disembark with his Karn squad as a reactive move, and try and be far enough away so that I couldn't cascade it. But then I was able to charge the Rhino that they got out of with gas call, and then be in a position to pile into the unit if I needed to. Just a bottle of water again. And then thank you, Nuss. And then but then because of the fact that I'd set up for that, which I think he maybe had missed, he had to heroic with some 8-bound to stop it, but then he heroicked a bit too far, and so then I was able to hit him with the giant 20-man brick I had in my army of orcs, and it just kind of cascaded. So the 20-man killed the 8-bound, gas call killed Karn's squad, and it just kind of I killed I think there was a reasonable chance I was going to cascade, but I was never going to hit those 8-bound, for example. So I picked up an entire squad more than I should. We didn't get through the whole game. It probably would have finished out around a 12-8. But when we submitted the score, it was around a 15-5, give or take. But I think his crackback was pretty good. He's going to definitely score some more points in the end there. But it was lovely. Great guy, and played it well. And then the last round was also against Chaos Cult. And
best, isn't it?
That matchup they don't love when people approach them with the knives. So that's what I did. I scored garbage down secondaries, but I got 50 primary. So I ended up being 80 points is 56, and what is that, a 14-6 or something? So just another really good matchup. The battle wagons were incredible the entire weekend, and so was that 20-man unit that can run through screens because
everything.
Even
everything. Yeah,
it was every time my opponents, I think they looked at the list and they're like, I understand what this does, and then they saw it on the battlefield and they're like, I don't know how to play around this. This is extremely difficult. So, and I was like, that is exactly what I was going for. So, it worked out really well. So it was a great event, though. Had a great time. What were you, Liam? How were your games?
So me, I was testing my CSM list because of LGT coming up, and I had to go back on that CSM wagon, right? So I was playing a classic vets list with some oblate and some MSU. And so we were doing the pairing, and my metrics were overall looking pretty drawish. So I end up into a lot of draw that were sometimes not really drawish, actually. I end up saying that at the end of the tournament, I changed my estimation in some match, I'd say. So round 1, I ended up being forgotten to play against a knight player. He went really aggressive into me, so from the start of turn 1, I started already to kill some knight. I think I already killed like 1.5 on turn 1. So that went good from there, because on turn 2 I killed another 2, and then from there on turn 3 I killed the last one, and it
Our
was
models.
easy then. So it ended up as a relatively confident 20 there. On round 2 against Zuxvant, I played against Knight. The mission meant it was a bit harder to push differential, because it was supply drop, and my opponent actually did respect me quite a fair bit, and was really defensive with the Knight, played really conservatively, which is probably correct. And lucky me, I ended up going second. So like I basically went and staged in the middle, and then at one point I think I went in on turn 3 when I had an occasion, and on my turn 3 I killed like 1 big and 4 small, and then I was able to kill like another big and another small on turn 4, and kill the last big on turn 5. So it ended up being like a 16-4. I had both of those matchups as a draw, so after that I knew that the EK at least was a bit easier, so I changed my estimation to small win, or win, I guess. Then on round 3 against Statcheck, I played against our lovely guest over here, Nassim, but we'll talk that in detail later.
Oh, I called me
And
lovely.
then,
That's weird.
yeah, I did call something you don't heard a lot. And then on round 4, I played against CK this time, so I played the Chaos version of Knight, which I was quite scared of it. But this time, lucky me, I went first. We were on, it was Terraform, right? So I was a bit scared. He went first, actually, Terraform. And the staging point were not really good in the deployment, but really good in the midfield. So it was really cool for me, because I basically were able to go in and stage on my turn 1. So he had 0 line of sight on turn 1. So he decided to basically not move. Then he moved a bit. Then in my turn 2, I basically didn't move, put like some cultists and rhino to do terraform. Then he decided to go into me with one knight and shoot me at a rhino he could see, but the rhino was basically empty. He killed the rhino, but then I went all in with like everything coming down, and I actually managed to kill 3 knights by rolling, I would say, relatively well. So like
Average.
I was, yeah, I would say like.
Wasn't there at least one interaction where one obliterator squad killed an entire knight?
No. It was 4 oblits that did.
Oh, sorry. Obliterates. It's a 2
They can't drop in melt range anymore, right?
Yeah.
They can't.
All I remember, because he was playing behind me, all I remember hearing was, "That was very lucky in Liam's turn," and then a guy like he just killed a knight with obliterators.
Yeah. The whole story was that I had 4 oblits, a rhino with noise, and a legionnaire with a lord ready to charge that night. And I only needed the 4 oblits, didn't manage to redirect anything, but I was like, okay, fair. Like
Liam,
the
most tankier.
The lucky part, I would say, was to kill the first knight with like the 2 preds plus like a random. I think the 2 pred plus a rhino, and I killed a knight. That was the really lucky part, I'd say. Not killing the second one with the oblit, but like, yeah, I went really lucky. Like killing 2 was actually not easy. But the problem was then I killed 2, and his list was 5 big knight. So I killed 3 on turn 3, 3 on turn 3, and 2 on turn 4. So from there, the game just collapsed, right? And I didn't lose that much. I still had like all my chosen, and I lost my warp talon, but I still had like most of the oblit. I had like, I'd say something like 2 oblit alive, still like the 2 pred. So yeah, it went down really quickly. So that was like a lucky 20, I'd say, against King of the Hill. I mean, but at the end, going first, the staging point was really good. And it helped actually. Like I switched, like the story was I switched the list last minute before the simulation, because I was training against CK and I felt my previous list was not doing good enough against CK and IK, and I switched to have a better matchup against those, and it helped because I played 3 times that matchup on the weekend, so it was happy. And the last game was a funny game, I guess. I mean, I played against GSC, and my opponent did a big mistake in deployment. He put all his 20-man neophyte in Defrag, and I went first. I went first, and I remember. So I went first, rolling a 6. Then I roll my advance on the chose, and I roll a 4. and then I had like all the rest of my army that they weren't gonna do nothing, but I was yeah, he has no damage, so may as well advance and just move forward. And I think I rolled like 4-6 in a row on my other advance and just push all my army 18 inches forward and basically wrap the deployment like the table on turn 2. That was like a painful experience for my opponent. I'm quite sorry, but
I
we had a
remember
bit of fun
I
there.
look to my left, and I hear the guy's his opponent's cracking up laughing, and it's like because Liam just rolled all these sixes, and I look at the board of what he has, and he has like a bike squad, a 5-man hybrid squad, like maybe one other small squad in the back, a Ringe Runner or two, and I'm like, "Where's the rest of your army?" He's like, "It's all in reserve." And I'm like, "Oh, that's not
No.
right." I don't know much about GSC, but I know that's the opposite of what you need to do in this situation.
It's fun. His GSC opponent got Inest when he played with John. He has a whole board screen now against him.
So that was painful for him, but yeah. I mean, my game were quite fast, generally speaking, in the fact that I either play against Knight or because I was also doing the coaching, so that of the team, right? So it was quite useful to have like kind of matchup where I could coach as well. So that was cool.
Yeah,
but yeah.
It was
Bon,
fun.
let's.
It was really nice to kind of like vibe with. It was the first time all 8 Ignite players have been in the same tournament at the same time, and not even just like a team tournament, just like a tournament in the same room at the same time. And yeah, it was great. I think we got on really well. We generally felt really positive. So yeah, I think that was to me that was the best part. Winning was a nice second. Doing better than Statcheck, a nice third. Yeah.
Sorry, who fucked up the reservation on
Rude messed
No.
that up. Okay. Rude
Dave
messed
told me
that
a
up.
different story where you had like cheese on bread.
It was, those are some of the worst pizzas I've ever had in my entire life. But good vibes, bad pizzas. But he was out. It's fine.
So the story was we wanted to go out all together as a team the Saturday evening,
Yeah.
and we asked Ruud, the tournament organizer, to book something for us. And apparently it didn't work. I actually didn't heard that story because I think me and Nassim were already a bit drunk at that time,
Yeah.
right?
Mate,
So what happened was I was
That's
going to make
right.
a reservation, but they didn't open until 5. So I was like, I know it was the middle of a round, and Ruud was like, "Oh, if you want, I can call for you." And
Yeah, call for
in my
you.
head, when I hear that, what that means is I will make a reservation for you because I speak the language. What he actually meant was I will call and just make sure that they're still open.
I mean, technically, Rose has written. He was right. He did.
I mean, he was like, you need to have better communication, Brian. I'm like, I feel like I'm not in fault here, but fair enough. You were doing me a favor. I'll take the blame. So
Listen, Brian, it's okay. This is just we do it. It's how we do it in Europe. You know, your American
Dutch are incredibly literal. It's a lesson. We learned something new. All right. So,
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, we end up at the hotel and we were eating those. That was bad pizza. That was bad pizza.
Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently there was like no tomato sauce or anything. It was just cheese
No,
on bread.
It was one step above a microwave pizza. They had like a little red, tiny little pizza oven where they had to make the pizzas one at a time, and we ordered 8 of them because there were 8 of us, and so they were just slowly coming out one at a time, and yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
the beer was all right. I do remember that. Me.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a team event if it wasn't scuffed in some kind of way. So
Yes.
that's the hallmark of a Warhammer team event is some kind
Dude, I had a pretty smooth team event. It was great. Yeah, like there was a lot of us just in the hotel lobby. Me, Pao, and Gus got like good old Chinese because we were trying to figure out did we want Chinese or Indian. And then we said because we've had lost to Vic in that round, we couldn't have an Indian to celebrate, so we needed a Chinese. And yeah, it was great. It was just a splendid experience.
Okay.
That was fun.
Bon. So I'll propose we basically gonna review a bit that round, Statcheck versus Ignite, a bit like we did with the French versus USA round back in WTC. So I have prepared a bit of stuff. Is it good? Yeah, it's good. So I have prepared a bit of a slide with the metrics from both teams. Bon, weirdly, the guy that give me the photo from the Statcheck matrix apparently
That is.
cannot.
Stop it on the internet. Okay, this is important. Nassim, when you ask him to give you something from like an app or something, he will take a photo of his screen. If he had a second phone, he would take a photo of his phone to send to you because he doesn't know how to hit the export button. It's the most
Dude,
frustrating thing about
Dude,
him.
I screenshotted it for you. What more do you want from
It
me?
was zoomed out. It was so far.
Yeah.
I can't control it. Technically I can. It's fine.
Yeah, so basically, you have the beautiful matrix of Statcheck in like 140p, right? Like the resolution is like something. I mean, we'll look at it a bit, and then I have the more.
That's even worse. I can't read that. What is this? What do you mean?
That's not true. It's because you're on. It's pretty readable.
All right,
Yeah.
who wanted to play me?
I'll get there in a second.
We'll get to look at it. And then I did a bit of a recapitulative of the rounds. So I mean, maybe start with that. That's, I'd say, the most interesting slide because we have the whole pairing process. So we can then start here. So basically, here we look at the whole round. We see how it went, and we see the final result, which was a draw at the almost a win for one side, but it was basically a draw.
Listen,
Right.
almost a win sounds like a draw to me.
Yeah, that's totally the definition of a draw, right?
Dude,
So-
it's like it's edge right there.
Yeah.
Listen, What I'm gonna do is thank Anthony
so-
for that one.
Yeah. Bon. So as a Team Ignite, I think we won the roll-off and we put David that was playing Black Templar. I mean, let's maybe start with the roster a bit. So Ignite, let's start with Ignite. So as Ignite, we had the whole team there. We had, me on CSM and Brian on Orc. Next that, we had Mation, or Polish player that was playing Admech, Radzone, the Polish way, right? Because only Polish people can make that work, seem like.
Yeah, that's how you know he's Polish. Just the fact that he's under his name.
Yeah. We had Lewis with Tyson Coterie, David with Black Templar, Vic with Eldari, Boris with EC, and then Chris Radford with World Eaters, like the 70 Berserk lists. And for Ignite, for Statcheck, I'll let you do it, Nassim.
Yes, for Statcheck, we had Beyond the Emperor's Children. We had Innes on the Grey Knight's Wartbane. We had Malta on his patented 30 Terminator 1000 Suns. We had Pow on his Drukari. We had Nathan on CK with Demon Allies. We had who else? Ghetto, King Ghetto, the better Pole, as we like to call him. We had the duality of Poland on Necrons, and we had Gus on Guard. That's from a term, typical combined stuff. And then Typhus was apparently at the event, allegedly, with his sisters.
So maybe we should talk about how we decide to create this roster a bit for each team, right? I mean, I think it's basically we had the same approach in both teams. We kind of just went for the vibe, right? Each player pretty much played the army they were confident in, right? Like we had a bit of a debate because we had a lot of Tyson and Eldari players. So who were gonna play Eldari, who were gonna play like Tyson, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I think we basically went with the vibe, right? Like I know, for example, you, Brian, you were really exciting to play Orc, so you went for that, even though you're
excited for me to play Orcs.
Yeah, I mean,
I was like, I'm going to play Orcs, guys, and then Dave and Vic were like, Brian, are you sure you want to? You don't have to play Orcs. You don't want to.
They just insinuated it. It's fine.
Yeah.
They just really wanted you to do well. And not lose to Innes. They just wanted you to finally creep out of your shadow.
Yeah, one day I'll beat Innes.
I mean, I'd say one thing is, at the end of the day, either you are delusional, Brian, or Orc is a fucking amazing team list. Because when I was looking at his matrix day one,
Delusional.
they were all
completely Delulu. Completely Delulu.
I mean, besides exactly Innes, all my scores were over 13. I mean, what can I just say? They're all green. So.
Yeah. I mean,
Now, could you have replicated that with tooth and nails and agents? Maybe, but we
Yeah.
don't need context.
I know, for example, I know my army was not that good, but
Yeah.
I still managed to score a lot of points. So like, it's not always linked. I mean, I'm trolling.
We can be delusional. It's fine as long as we deliver. It's all right.
Yeah. Bon.
Yeah.
And I mean, I suppose you also went a bit with Statcheck as like everyone kind of played the army they wanted to do, right?
Yeah, so I didn't want to play guard because I just wanted to be freed from the shackles for like an event. So I played EC, enjoyed them. Gus was playing his Votan, was not enjoying his Votan. Was like, I'm gonna play guard. I was like, go for it.
Gustavo.
Yeah, Gustavo. Typhus played his sisters because he's like, I want exorcist. I want to shoot people with indirect, and I'm like, you do that, buddy.
Also, the only I think that he uses these days.
Listen, apparently he shot people with exorcists. I like, it might have been in Poland that he was doing it, but he did shoot people with exorcists. And yeah, like we just went for a lot of compo picks, like had Power on his Drakari, Moto on his Thousand Sons, Ghetto on Necrons, the Overlord himself. Yeah, so like everyone is pretty much on like comfort picks. Nathan and CK.
Mm-hmm. And I'm curious, how do you think WTC impact a bit even though we were all playing what we went to like it, like how would say like the WTC list impact a bit of the team camp? Because for example, for us, I'd say it did quite a bit, right? Because we did follow a bit of the French motto, right, to not bring night, and we had like Word Eater, what the French special, right, stuff like that. Like in this post, I would say in this post WTC meta, that I mean we had a new data set that I guess changed quite a few things. But how would you say that like the meta was, right, in the post WTC? Like, because we knew like this CK, IK, and Death Guard already got a small nerf from the preview data set, right? So like, how did you expect to see like the list pretty different from WTC?
One important detail I think as well is we didn't use challenger cards, right?
That was great. Oh my god, dude, it was the best. Like when you were winning, it felt like you were winning, and do not be like, oh god, I hope he doesn't move extra d6 this turn.
Yeah, that was much nice. But I think to your question, Liam, I think the meta felt really pretty open. I think actually, it felt like you could kind of play whatever you wanted. I expected there to be Eldar because they're quite good. I expected some amount of T-Suns. I definitely expected some Chaos Knights. But I mean, it generally kind of felt like you could do kind of whatever you want. That's kind of how WTC felt too, right? You can kind of do whatever you want.
But the meta felt pretty similar than WTC at the end of the day, right? There were a bunch of knights, a bunch of TK. Like, I mean, I know I played against all the night all weekend, so I was like, yeah, okay, WTC shit basically, right? And like the lists were still pretty similar because of like how close the events were from each other, right?
Yeah, I don't think there was many surprises with like in terms of like lists. Like some teams took CK. We took CK with Infernal, so they can do the hill, and Zugzwang. Like I think they only Zugzwang took double bigs. I think the only real surprises was taking like GK. A few teams had GK. Really was like the off meta thing.
I mean, to be fair, it's a new thing, right? It's the first team event with GK, right? They were not really there at
no, not
at
really.
WTC,
But they haven't changed.
They did. The codex just dropped up, which is, I guess, still a change, right? Because
it's fine.
I mean, librarian is like very different, and I think
that does help, to be fair, because like he's just it's just D6 plus 3 now, 18. Like
yeah, he's got a lot of volume, which is really cool.
Yeah,
he's different than he was, but he's got a lot of volume. Him dropping out of the Storm Raven was painful. that hurt.
Full rerolls.
Yeah, that was quite good. I liked Innis's list a lot. I think it was quite good. And it worked really well on the kind of the board and stuff. So I don't know how much thought he gave into that in terms of like the deployments in the boards, or if he just kind of vibed it. Knowing Innis could be either way. But it worked well, I think, in those boards. Like the deployments, the FP Downy, like the fact I feel like, especially against pressure, I'm okay. I feel like I'm okay playing against FP Downy armies as pressure, except when it's deep boards, right? When it's like Hammer and Anvil, Tipping Point, and they have a lot of space to kind of play the game, even when I'm pushing them, then it gets sketchier, let's just say. And I think that was kind of true here too. So I don't know if he, maybe you could tell me, do you think it is planned for the deployments? Is that one of the reasons he took Grey Knights, or?
Dude, I didn't know we were playing Hammer day one.
Yeah, neither
It's
did I.
just,
I figured that out
there
round
was
two.
there
I
was
like,
like
yeah.
no planning in terms I didn't know what the missions were. I was like,
Yeah.
what's the mission? It's like, wow, like I had to ask Chris, like, Rude, why we played Ritual round
Yeah,
3? I was like, what's going on?
It was round 2 when we were doing Hammer after Tipping Point. I was like, is this the entire day? Like, we're just doing these deployments.
I was
Please
like,
tell me no.
Wait, to be fair, the whole host over here, all of you lost against Grey Knight. So maybe Grey Knight are actually broken because we are 100% win rate against.
I lost to Nassim deciding to int a half of his army turn 1. That's what I lost to.
Mhm.
I lost 11-9 to Nassim. And also,
Yeah.
Arthur played it really well. But that's besides the point. We don't give credit to people.
That's
Okay,
true.
so you don't
we,
think?
we demean ourselves. No, they are no. Grey Knights are very good. But
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So because that was basically the only new hotness with Votan also. There were Votan that was a new hotness.
Nobody really played Votan though. Maybe the new models. I do think that Votan really want like steel jacks and stuff like that in the new models, and people haven't gotten.
Yeah, I think Zigzag had Votan. They had like Delve with like
Yeah.
the indirect pieces. I've played these that list. I haven't been super impressed by it yet. Like the mortars sound like a lot of volume because it's one of the new units, right? And then you actually shoot it at stuff and it doesn't do much. So I'm not too sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a tech against Eldar, basically, right?
It must be, right?
They are worried about. They are scared about Eldar and they want to kill them indirect, which is the best way to kill Eldar, I suppose.
It's true.
As well. But yeah, I'm not like super experienced into Votan. I know like all whole matrix against them was basically I put that because I supposed that, but I actually don't know. I think the player that played them in our roster was Radford, yeah. And it was like he was estimating a loss. I went to his table. So round 1 to 2 it was a loss. Then 3 the loss was becoming like a 8 to then becoming a 10 to finish like I think like a 15. I was there, so
Great prediction.
I was there. I guess at least we knew from the start that it was a bit weird, and I was and I was watching the game. I was like, yeah, okay, it's a loss, but it doesn't seem like bad actually. So maybe I can count for a draw, but like in the end, like the prediction was not correct. Bon, let's maybe focus back a bit to the roster after presenting a bit the meta and both roster. So here we basically see that we Ignite puts David as defender. You attack with Necron and Sister. We accept the Sister. Then you put Drukhari at the same time. You attack with Ward Eater. And ici, you take the Ward Eater.
Yeah.
We continue with the Necron. You could put the Necron in defender, and then we attack with ici and Orc. They refuse Orc.
Yep.
And we put Admech, you attack Tis and Kotri. We refuse Kotri. And then the last defender was Brian, that took basically Grey Knight and basically CK that took Tyson to have a Vic versus Guardian Forgotten, and then Lewis versus Kotri. Lewis versus CK and me versus Nassim. So, how did you felt about the pairing, Nassim?
I think when we have pairings or like, we need to manage the Liam and Vic role, because if you look at at that role specifically on the Matrix, it was it just like somebody was gonna have to die. Like if you look at that there, we actually ended up getting a loss predicted there, and like Typhus saying that he could I think it was beat Dave with the Black Templars. Was like, all right, like we felt when we left the pairings, it was like, all right, assuming this information is correct, we feel like we've got a bit of upside here, but like there's not much of it. But like we shouldn't get blown out. Even if some of these go sideways, because the mission is ritual, you can just activate, press this create objective button and just like bunker and like force the other person to super overextend without having you to go into the middle, which I know happened in basically in our game lane.
Yeah.
So like we felt like we left the pairings. It was relatively okay. We knew that the Necron game vs the EC game should be like worst case a draw for the Necrons because EC just doesn't have the volume to actually go through the Warriors. But then like a few of the games felt like it just felt very quickly that because if you exclude the result of Typhus, like it would have been like almost like just a perfect draw with how the game went. But yeah, we felt fine with enough pairings. We didn't feel like we were going to lose, but we also didn't feel super comfortable in winning the round.
Yeah, I think your estimation does reflect that. If you look at the row here, outside of pairing, you were basically estimated yourself with 3 win, 3 draw, 2 loss, which is a slight edge for you basically. But like on our side, we did felt pretty confident outside of pairing. Maybe we didn't include ritual too much because we felt like we had 3 big win, a small win, and 4 draw, which was a great place to be. I remember talking about it. Obviously, Brian did made a estimation error, like he mentioned, and really quickly told me that it's gonna go to a draw. And actually, it's a bit what happened on every table. I remember telling my teammate that they were basically pussy because they were only estimating draw at the start of the game and not assuming their win. So, but to have to make fun of them. But to be fair, I think we didn't took in account ritual too much. So
Yeah,
some of those draw were probably actually going to go. Some of those wins were actually going to land toward the draw, no matter what, because of the missions.
yeah. I
So
mean, is this something we found on Ritual? Like even like when we played like I think 2 years ago with like USA, right? Like a lot of what we had done as wins were like just went down to draws, right? Like Vic went to Nick had the game that as a win went to a draw, and it had happened in this game in this round as well against the guard, right? Like I know Elder into guard is pretty favorable for the Elder, but if the guard bunkers down, or if anybody bunkers down and just says, I'm going to score 5, 10, 15, 15, then score the cards, it's very hard to actually interact with it if there's 2,000 points within 15 inches of everything.
exactly. And a lot of the game went that way. Like for example, our game were an interesting example. I think in the onside we made a slight mistake here, and it's because my estimation against CK was not correct. I should have probably attacked the CK, and then Lewis would have been in Forgotten, and would have switched me versus the CK for Lewis versus EC, which I think I told me, if you disagree, Brian, that generally speaking, Tyson had like a okayish matchup against EC. I don't remember what was because
I think that I think 30 Terminators in particular would be rather challenging for EC. Because it's like
yeah,
the mind wound and everything and the extra because he
No,
was
Lewis against me is basically what
yeah,
you're saying.
Lewis gets you.
yeah.
Sorry. I so Nas and I have disagreed about this. So John.
No, I feel it feels like we've come to an agreement on it,
Yeah.
depending on the role that it's used for.
Yeah. I
Because
think on like a light board, I can see T Suns being favored for sure. On a neutral or worse board, I think it's slightly favorable to EC.
Yeah. But it would have been like a choice of us because we had the roll off, and the table were pretty open relatively. Like the table we played, me and Nassim, was relatively open, so you could bunker and build objective. Obviously, not go out of your deployment, but Tyson with like Magnus and Slav would have catch line of sight really easily. But it's a small metric that you always do, right? Because the metrics, especially in that kind of tournament where the preparation were not like for WTC, so we had some wrong estimation that fucked up the pairing, and that happened all the time. and it's really interesting to see like how one fucked up estimation, like here for my part, to estimate the um, the CK that I estimate is as a draw more as a win, to assume that I needed to take my guts and go for it.
Don't be a
Where,
pussy like you called your
yeah,
teammates. Yeah.
don't be a PC, like I was the pussy as well. And so that fucked up a bit the pairing, and then an estimation like Brian, where you estimate your win into a draw, a lose or a draw into a win, then fucked up the round a bit, like made a win, a round that felt like a comfortable win in theory outside of the pairing, actually going down to a draw, right?
Yeah, no, I think so. I agree. Can you go to, I guess, Statcheck's Matrix real fast? I just want to see,
Yes.
were there any because obviously Dave did really well.
Yeah.
And I think some of that was probably like, Type hasn't played in a while, and he's playing a whole
Yeah.
army.
I mean, I
I
think,
think about the event too. He was one of our higher scorers. So, like, what was
Yeah,
your
he was-
opinion of Black Templar? Because obviously you guys are, it looks pretty good as a column. So I know Ennis had played some games with it.
So R4 into Black Templars, well, at least like if I go down like with Tafis is one I can't speak on it, so I'm not entirely sure. I know with Gustavo into the Black Templars, because I also actually did part of his matrix for him with the guard, was that yeah, it's actually very tough for the Black Templars to actually get a very real result out of you, because there's the Borgans, the heroics, an Overwatch can spike and do something. The repulsors actually do die, but it's also hard for you to get result of it because they've got reactive moves everywhere. If they get like a tag off, they can go back to the transport. So it's just a very annoying game, but they can never actually really push into you too hard, because if you have like two guardsmen that survive because he tries to split, you hold the objective. For Ghetto, he said, if I look at it, I actually think he thought it was actually quite well for him, because physically don't have the amount of attacks to kill him in combat. And like he out OCs him because each one of his models is OC free and heals back. And unlike a lot of multiple warrior lists, like he has like DDAs, the king, and emetics and all that stuff behind it, and some counterpunch to actually plays the rest of the game rather than just warriors. So it feels like he could, worst case, always get a small win because he's able to attrition him down. And as hard as like Grimaldus's brick hits and any of the other things hit, they don't actually do enough to kill 20 warriors in an activation. And then like a few of the other ones, like draws, like Malta, I know felt pretty comfortable because just flat mounts onto wound for sure against Lethal Fates is really annoying. But even if almost all of the attacks connect in terms of like wounding, it still doesn't kill all the Terminators. It kills like 5 really, and then the other 5 plus the character does do a lot of damage back to them because they end up being like, I think they're the AP2, and
2
they can
damage.
do 2 damage. It's like it does actually chew through. Ines sorry, the Drakari for us against a lot of the melee pressure, like he played because he played this warrior twice. Like was just said, yeah, I not like favored. Like probably like it's around the 8 to 12 bracket. Worst case, it might slip down to a 7. But I can never really below that. And then with Ines, he's played a bunch, right? So I know like he felt confident, like he knew what he did. He's played a lot of Space Marines.
Yeah.
For me, it felt like I realistically, depending on like if because in my head I was when I was doing this, I was kind of assuming that he's going to get board pick at some point, which makes it a bit more annoying. Because the most annoying thing in that matchup is the repulsors. Because a good Overwatch can like kill most of an infractor unit, so then I don't really connect. If he gets a really good Overwatch, maybe he can like half kill a Demon Prince, so then I don't do as much damage there. So I was like, it's quite standoffish. Where it feels like if he tries to play the game, or if he makes a mistake, I can punish him because I'm fast. But otherwise, it's really hard to with all of the reactive moves as well. Going back to the transports, and then NATO, I think was it called, I had it down as a draw because the repulsors are a bit tougher to kill, and the infantry hits him really hard. But also, if he's like able to at any point shoot the infantry, they do melt. So it's quite standoffish. So we feel like what we're fine against it. there's not many lists that can actually pressure score against it, because if you ignore Typhus's one, it's what, like 2 wins and 6 draws, like an
Yeah.
8 to 12
Yeah.
bracket.
I mean, I know if we look at our row for him, he really had like a good row overall. Like he's
No, if you look at it, it's like if we exclude Typhus's one, it's like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 draws, 1 loss, 3 wins. It's like
yeah. But which is fair. Like I mean, I remember we had like a big debate us because David was telling me that he was gonna win the Star Shatter, and I was telling him that he was not. So we had like a bit of a debate, and he was also less confident about the sister, where I thought it was actually a really easy matchup. That's why I felt, I think, really weird when you attack us with sister. I felt you just give him one of the matchup he really wanted for us. But to be fair, I was like more like, in my opinion, your sister player were kind of fuck. Sorry, Typhus, because we had like so many like super aggro army where his list actually doesn't like. I would say it would have been the same against the Orc. It would have been the same against the EC. It would have been the same against the Ward Eater. So we had like four like army ready to kind of punch
murder him,
Typhus to death.
kill
So
him.
I was there. Basically, you discard one of your weakest army to to make your pairing better. That was our feeling when we got your pairing on one.
Mhm.
And it was a bit the same with Drukari, right? Like when you put Drukari as your def one, where they're okay. They're basically try to discard some of their.
Yes and no. So for us, like the Drukhari felt like it could play the melee armies, like it could actually like keep it back. I mean, like he doesn't have the best matrix. I'll be honest with you. But we were hoping that because if you look at the, what is it called?
It's really
If you look at
surprising because I would think that melee pressure is one of the best armies into Drukhari.
Yeah,
you,
but I think he can level with his skill and his understanding of the matchup that most of our guys doesn't really because they didn't play against Drukari, right?
yeah, because you need to remember it's like yeah, but like Power's got like 500 games of Drukhari, whereas like I don't think I've ever played V5 Drukhari like a dozen times, unless it's like when they had liquefiers that had +1 damage into it.
I think there's definitely some truth to that. But I'm looking at like from my perspective as like orcs into Drukhari. I feel like as a pressure army, I can often abstract away a lot of what my opponent is doing and what their army is doing, because my strategy, I'm setting the tempo, I'm deciding how the game's being played, and they're just trying to respond, right? So I can usually try and like a lot of the tricks and ways that they're trying to where you can really express a lot of skill and try and be tricksy, right? Which I think is Jakar is great at. Gets kind of washed away when you're under pressure like that.
Yeah, but if you
Yeah,
look
I
at
think
Drukhari Matrix as well, sorry, Liam, if you look at the Drukhari Matrix as well, like the matchups that were somewhat fine for it, like where it's got the yellows down, is like Vs, the Orcs, Vs, the Space Marines, Vs, like the Warriors, which are like arguably the 3 more aggro lists that you have.
yeah.
It's more the slightly more all color ones. There's a bit more shoot. There's a little bit of shooting. There's a little bit of transports here. There's a bit of that. That's a little bit more annoying for the
I mean,
Drukhari.
I also think you probably misestimated Drukari quite a bit, Brian, there, because with like people underestimate the output of Drukari in some matchup. Like, for example, a 21 boys will just die to a fucking heroic of the fight first Archon court. Will all of these attack, they actually kill most
Yeah,
of the 20 man boys during
I
their
don't,
turn.
that doesn't matter though, right? Because you fight on death and then kill everything you're touching.
Yes and no, because you're not gonna touch a lot. It's 3 CP to fight on dev, so you're not doing a lot of things everywhere. And there is still other unit. Like I think people. I played a lot of Drukari, and I played a lot against Drukari the last few weeks.
Yeah.
That's why I think, like for example, Poe did overestimate my army into him, because for example, he's putting that as a super big red, where I know that I cannot really push more than a draw. So like that's why I actually didn't, for example, attack in my opinion, because
Yeah.
like
I mean,
I
I do.
actually played the matchup.
Yeah, I do agree. The damage is quite good, especially
Yeah.
like I just it
It's
always felt like
it's very
everything in his
deceptive.
army kills everything in his army really well. That's why like if I'm connecting with elves, it's always really positive for orcs, right? But the problem with regular elves is that the connection's tricky, right? it's not as hard to connect with Drukari compared to other armies, at least
The-
compared to Eldar, right? And so in the games I've played, and Pal's going to play better than any Drukari player I've ever played against, right? So I fully admit that, and I'm sure that that's why I play a game I won't really know what it's like, but it's always been pretty favorable for me in the games I felt because of the fact that with Warhorde specifically, because I have Fight on Death, and you're not really using CP in Warhorde for much else other than like the Fight on Death and maybe you reroll in advance or something. So like when you're going into your wall turn, I'm on 5-6 CP, right? Especially against an army that has Vect. I need to have
Yeah.
that. I need to have interrupt. I need to fight on death. Not interrupt, excuse me, but like I want to have interrupt for the following turn.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, which is fair. I mean, like at least for me, like I remember when we played this like Zugzwang and like he was behind me, and I'm just like there's a 20-man berserker unit on his backfield that's just taking his backfield and killed like everything, and I like. And like, what's it called? Powers like predicting a 5, and I was saying to Thomas, I don't think he's getting 5. I think he's getting 0 here. And he
Yeah.
comes back and he scores like 8, and I'm just like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
I mean,
Like I just saw a whole like 20-man berserker unit on his backfield like evaporated 2 of his units. I was like, what just happened there?
I mean,
Like you just don't see it coming.
the secret is they have actually a lot of output in shooting. I mean, especially against like those, like not against Berserker, but against those transport, which is a bit of the key of, for example, something like Brian List.
Yeah.
All the Rhino and stuff like that will actually die, and even the Battle Wagon, they won't live long, and then basically he'll
Yeah.
like jump around you because he has a super high number count of unit, and every single of his unit are in transport that outside of the Court of the Archon that fight first. So all the units that matter are actually not easy to get because the transport factor, which even though you're telling me you can kill them and the inside with double activation, he has like enough chaff that the front line will actually be something like Rax or
Scourges.
Urian, Scourges, exactly, like
Scourges.
Kronos, stuff like that, so that he will just wait for you to commit and then commit into you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can, on the kind of boards where, especially the deeper boards, I definitely see that being true. Right. I think you're right, 100%.
Yeah,
And we're at the tipping point where they can have that deeper wave, which I can't hit from a wall.
I
Again,
just think Drukari is one of those armies, and like I also disrespect it. I'll be honest, I don't think Drukari is a great army unless you've got a faction specialist on it. But it's and you can say that about most armies, but more so true with Drukari because it feels like Drukari is one of those armies that is very easy to fuck up, and when someone fucks up with it, you're just like, okay, I don't know what happened here. I guess your army's dead, it's off the board. But when it's played really well, and you can say that about any faction with a faction specialist, but it just feels like the floor for Drukari is like for you to do well with it, like the floor is very low. Like if somebody picks it up, they can just get pounced. Where if somebody plays Gladius with all of the vehicles, they can still do well with it. Whereas, and because there's Drukari is not really a super common army as well. At least not in the UK. That you don't really see it around too much.
Yeah, and POW is incredible. So yeah, definitely, I definitely see that being true, and I think it's tough. I mean, I feel like that's an advantage I sometimes have with Orcs similarly, right? Is there's not very many people that play well, and so a lot of times people will assume it's a matchup which is really good, and then I'll play it in a way that they're maybe not used to. And so that's happened with POW too. And every time I played against Drukari, it's never been somebody at his level. So it's one of those things where it's really hard to matrix until you get into it, and find out. So I definitely think it's true.
I mean, I know I was giving a lot of respect to Drukari because I know the army. I mean, Sako have been playing that a lot, so he did train me, and I did play actually quite a lot of Drukari.
So... Give a lot of respect to Sako, mate.
But yeah, and I mean, to be fair, they are getting a new codex now, so actually all of that data will now be totally irrelevant. So let's maybe jump out of subject, right? So I mean, obviously, we already talked a few about your game against Ines. That actually were a big factor. I'd say another big factor in that round was that Vic versus Gustavo match, right? As the Ignite team, we were quite expecting a relative win from Vic in that matchup because I mean I'm an Eldar player as well, and I was like, yeah, it's a super easy matchup. But I think here it's clearly one of those cases where like it was a a mistake of like estimating the mission, right? Like none of us played that fucking ritual on Hammer with the fucking 3 more objective, and basically Vic really quickly told me that it was gonna be a draw, and I don't think we had nobody could really push, which was a bit of like sad in that kind of mission, right? Like basically all the table were kind of anchor in some way. Both army put a bunker, start to push objective, and there were no one that could push, basically.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I mean, so at the end of the day, that kind of cost us a bit of point, but that was always a bit expected. And then all the rest went pretty much as expected. I mean, outside of like David basically managed to win first on ritual, which is great. If you want a push differential on ritual, often you need to go first so that you can like stage in the middle, spawn some objective, and then on turn 2 you basically attack everything, so your opponent never get the chance of spawning another objective and never get to a chance to holding the middle. So in that kind of scenario, you're kind of scoring 50 primary, and if if it goes well, your opponent is actually not scoring any primary. David told us that basically the indirect third one did actually hurt quite a few badly, and then he went for it and succeeded all of his charge, and basically that is the end for the sister because he was just too much under pressure. And I
Yeah.
think probably Typhus didn't estimate well the matchup and put it as a draw, as a win, and probably try to play for a win, which is probably the worst case scenario when you're playing for a win in a matchup that you actually need to lose. And that's the kind of matchup that tends to switch to a 20-0 is when the guy on the losing side of a matchup is thinking he's actually winning it, try to push, and then basically kind of get slapped. I didn't watch the game. That is kind of pure supposition. But what did Typhus made any debrief about the game, Nassim? Or
He did say that he scored no victory points. So I mean, he's no, that's a lie. He scored 10 for painted.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was very painted. That much.
Dude, his model was like fucking real good looking.
Gorgeous
That's
army.
where all of his points came off. That's where all of the points came from. Yeah, so he just said, yeah, no, yeah. It's just, it was just, I think Typhus was a little bit of a shell at that point.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, it did happen to me to score 0 point in a game. You don't feel great after that.
Literally zero.
Yeah.
So,
Got table turn 2 against 9 edition guard with Harlequin. So like,
I know this. This one you played against Dave. Played against Dave for this one?
no, it was not against Dave.
Oh.
It was again some Polish guys, but it was super fun. I mean, it was not fun for me, but
super fun.
losing your army on top of 2 was kind of weird, but it's okay.
It's like this usually doesn't happen to me. But
Yeah.
The dark days of weak indirect.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, obviously there were then our game that you estimated as a lose. I estimated as a draw. I think I was kind of correct, to be fair, but I don't think any one of us can really push. Like, if I try to push, I just lose.
So for me, the reason I had that down as a loss is one is like you can like basically if you decide to lay your turn like, and this is not me factoring in ritual, to be fair. If you lay your turn, you can have 2 blitz come down, oath something, ignore cover, pick up 5 guys behind the wall, then you can do that again. Even then, right? Like that unit's not really doing anything, and then I can never get a hold of you, because you have the flat 6 reactive, which is massive, and as well, the chosen aren't great against the demon princes, yes, but I don't actually do a lot of damage to the chosen with like anything else in my army. So like Lucius doesn't actually do too much because you blank one and then one goes in an idiot. So I need to charge with multiple things. You have got the Nemesis claw, so you can be like charge, no heroic, no AOC, no taunt. So like you have all of the. For me, it was like, all right, cool. He's got all of the tools for the fight phase to be very annoying, and like bile revives. and he have like I think at this point he had the good revive. I can't remember.
No, I didn't have the good revive yet.
Oh, he didn't have the good revive yet. Okay,
It
so
didn't revive, by the way, but still didn't matter. Or maybe he did or die in the same activation. But
yeah. So
yeah, I
like for me, like you just had like all of the tools to play melee
mean,
better than me. Like
I
as much
do.
as much as I hit harder, I think in melee. You have all the tools, and you still have the. For me, I was like, the warp talons are really annoying because the warp talons like I can't really deal with. They can rapid ingress, then charge, and like just be super annoying. So for me, I was like, you've got all of the tools for it. But I have better data sheets, essentially.
Yeah.
It's kind
I
of
feel
what.
like with melee games, all those advantages like largely don't matter, right? I mean, like they're nice to haves, and they give you slight tools, but they're every single one of them can be played around in the melee game, right?
Yeah,
And so
100%.
yeah, so it feels like if both players are playing it correctly, melee games almost always are a draw, right? Or two made the first mistake, and then that person loses regardless of whether they have the advantages or not, right?
Yeah.
Almost always.
And like all those advantage, I can only put them in position. Like I need to place them in position because, like I mentioned, you have the better data sheet. Sorry. So if you like fight me in 1v1, I will always lose. So I have to build a castle, and if I overextend, I get slapped. And like yeah, so indeed, like most melee matchup are draw, and I think ritual is actually encouraging that because you don't have to go in the middle. So we were both at looking at each other during like I
Dude,
think
we had
spent,
so many objectives. Like I think on my turn 4, Liam, I took you off how many objectives? I took you off 4.
no, you
Right?
took me off.
No, technically I took you off your backfield, so I took you off 3, and you scored what, a 10 or 15?
Yeah, I scored a 10 on the last turn because you killed my cultist, but I still had the thread on one and Lucius and a cipher on another one. So they were, I think, 12 objective or something dumb like that, which is way too much.
Insane. I was like, I
Yeah.
guess I'm scoring a 15 my turn 5 by accident.
Yeah, I mean, you did it because I think you had like a prince, us 5 men, and Lucius alive, and you say, okay, yeah, then I score a 5 because I have 3 squad alive, and there is like 7 objectives. So actually, I do think that Lucius alone could have held 2 objectives.
Yeah, no. He could have. I was looking at it. I was like, Lucius just goes here, just can hold 2. And then all Liam has to do is set up my sabotage card that I need to draw, which I didn't draw anyway. So it was funny. I think there was like a 30-second period where Liam was like, I need to stop you scoring sabotage. I'm just like charge me with like all of your army now because you don't need them for cards.
Yeah.
Like I physically can't do it in your backfield.
Yeah, it was. I needed to block because, but it was fun, I guess.
Yeah, it was fine.
I mean,
most importantly, I got the singles win, 84, 80.
Yeah,
sorry,
you
80 to 84. There you go.
Something like that. You indeed did. To be fair, that mission doesn't exist in single. So.
I didn't realize that the ritual keeps the 3 objectives now.
Yes.
And you spawn more. I was like, that's crazy. You have so many objectives.
Yeah, dude, you start to get on 5 and like you end battle round 1 with 7 objectives.
Yeah,
it's just like
so many objectives.
I hope you know I spawned 4 objectives out of the 5 battle rounds that game.
Yeah.
They did with the last time. It was funny.
No, I think you only did the 3 first. There were 11 objectives.
I was gonna do it again. I didn't have any actions to do. It was
we were just out of objective marker. That's the story.
Yeah. We were out. I had to use my set and use Liam's set, and then we were like, yeah, we don't have any more objectives.
Yes.
That was
so, bon. I think we covered everything. Have you anything to told about ETC, I guess, still? Or like?
I really hope Eldar gets worse before the next big team event. That's pretty much it, I think.
Yeah, Eldar, like, yeah. What faction did you feel did super well? Like, Eldar were kind of a menace, right? Like, Eldar, yeah, but obviously Eldar is, I think, especially with the data slate going up, and we know the nerf they got, which is basically kind of insignificant. Make me a bit scared in team, at least. In single, I don't know. In single, you still have like
Hawks went up, right?
What?
10-man Hawks went up, didn't they?
Yeah, but it's kind of a nerf for sure, but it's not a lot.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. I think LR might become a problem. I think T-Suns are unfortunately dead.
Yeah, like for example, Thiessen and GSC, which were two of their. I mean, I don't agree on Thiessen, but some people were saying that Thiessen is a counter to Eldar, and GSC as well. And if they are true, at least we can say no that they are kind of both gone in any case. So you
Yeah.
kind of struggle to find counter. Alors, you can say, okay, melee pressure went back in it, so Orc and stuff like that. But I know that if Vic and you were actually disagreeing on that Vic were telling you, Brian, that he was destroying you on Orc,
Yes.
and you were saying to him that he was destroying him. Me, I was trying to bring.
I think I slightly favored, and Vic's firm opinion on Orcs is regardless of the matchup, they're getting a 0.
Yes, Vic. Let's go. Proving my point. Eldar's busted.
That's been his narrative since the beginning of time, and I don't expect that to change regardless of the context.
Dude, does he not tell you that he just moves forward and just moves block you, kills that side of the board, and goes to the other side of the board?
Yeah, I was like, Vic, I have this 20-man unit of boys. They run through all your move blocks, and he's like, I don't see why that is relevant for the matchup, personally. What else to do? I'm ignoring your way of stopping me. I don't know how else to prove this to you.
That's great.
I'm pretty sure, me as a more, I would say, and it's weird to say that I was the balance in that matchup, the grown up that was following the child to stop whining, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's actually more harder, and I don't think Eldar have actually that bad matchup, even though you need to know how to play it. And I'd say if both players are competent enough, it's probably going to end up as a draw. But I cannot say that for every matchup. Like when both players are competent, it ends up as a draw.
Surely, not everything can come around back to a draw.
No, but a lot of matchups when they are both play like they should, they end up as a draw.
But is it as they should, or do both players not have any balls?
Yeah, well, I don't see how Eldar, for example, ever pushes Orcs, right? In a matchup where I can score 10s and they can score 10s, like they're not getting 15s.
It's easy. They just kill you, Brian.
Yeah,
you're not that hard to kill.
Because if they try and dig me out, then they're right there and I kill them, right?
No.
So I think if I have to chase them is when things get bad for Orcs, right? If I have to engage on the entire board, that's when I found that I usually, when Eldar does well, it's because I'm trying to engage the entire board. But if they're fighting me on my side of the board.
Counter argument. There's hooks in the mid board. He's move blocked the what's it called? Your Venus does. No, not the 20 man. The 20 man can't get them. Next to he's got Fuegan that moves forward. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Let's move past
that. Shut up. Where so Fuegan goes with the wave serpent, blows up like battle wagons, and then he's like, mortal wound, you're dead, content inside, dead, you're tabled, you're bad at Warhammer.
If I play bad, then Eldar will win the game. I fully agree. It's unbeatable. It's an unbeatable strategy.
Exactly.
I think that like Eldar have a lot of tools that are really good into me. All my stuff kills them really well and has high volume of attacks. I think if I connect, it's good. If the Eldar player can avoid that, it's probably good for them. So
I'd say also that all their weapons kill you fine as well. So
yeah, they kill you real good as well. Minus on a wound or not, baby, they do kill you.
No, minus on a wound isn't that great because of right? You can give them the crit 5s.
Crit 5 equals, baby. Don't care. Yep.
Also mortal wound, but
yeah.
So I'd say it's a skill matchup, but I wouldn't say that Eldar have no way of pushing the Orc. I actually think there is a lot of way to pushing the Orc, but it's gonna depend of positioning, and if both players are aware of that they can be pushed, and they're positioning themselves as defensive as they should, it's gonna kind of end up as a stalemate where it's gonna come to maybe who do the mistake first and who will go second, maybe, or stuff like that, and or who get told to push where it shouldn't push because the opponent did their castle well.
Yeah, I think Orcs have a similar, like the way that I have outwork the mistakes manifest in Orc games, in the similar way to how they manifest in like World Raiders games, which is your opponent puts a unit slightly too far forward or slightly too close to another unit, and then I'm able to just like slingshot off that unit into things that he had no intention of being hit, and the game spirals into a chaotic board state that they did not anticipate, right? But if your opponent doesn't let that happen, it's very hard to hit them properly, I think, right?
How do you play with these armies like Gladius then, or like Stormlands that have like reactive moves, or play across places of orcs? Is that just annoying because you can't really get a hold of them, or what if they get they reactive into places where, oh, I didn't want to charge you here because I'm now over here in the open rather than slingshot like cascading.
They usually have less resources, which means that you can stage more aggressively, and you're not as you're not playing the kind of game like Eldar and these other chaff heavy armies are, where they're pushing a lot of stuff forward, blocking, pushing you back, and trying to be able to hit any of their good stuff. Space Marine players tend to run out of stuff much quicker, right? So at a certain point, then you can stage more aggressively, I think, and then you can hit them more aggressively, and you kind of force them to fight you, right? At a certain point, that's kind of a lot of the way I play orcs is staging really aggressively, forcing my opponent to play a game of Warhammer early, which then when you're running into things like battle wagons, for example, sometimes you just don't kill them, right? Or you kill them and it's your last activation, or I careen. I don't do that, but some people do. And like things where you just you get to disrupt the way that they want to play the game. And that's really all that orcs are trying to do, right? They play very similarly, I think, to the way EC plays, up until and including the go turn, and then afterwards it's completely different. Right afterwards, I'm just like trying to hold them by the ankles to keep my score high, and I'm higher than theirs. But you guys are like killing them after the go turn. I'm just like, all right, that was good. Now let's let me hold my points. Just walk away.
Like,
leave me alone. So,
you've done your damage. It's like I don't have.
exactly.
I don't have these buffs anymore. I don't have an invuln. Like, fuck, please.
I'm not gonna kill that chosen squad with my boys unit outside of the one night.
I think that was on stream on War Games Live, right?
I don't know when that happened. But it was somewhere.
Boom. Let's maybe jump about another topic. Next weekend, there is what we call the Big Four, the French. Basically, it's the way of qualifying the French captain, which is interesting as like the perspective, I would say, of foreign country of France, because it's basically the captain of the next team that we need to beat as like for the next WTC, right?
Might makes right is very much the French way with how they do their picking their captains.
Yes. So I mean, as a context, maybe I should explain a bit. So they have like the French league during the years, which is I think now it's the top 10 French team that will face each other during, I'd say, two events. Where right now it's basically a league.
I think it's 2 events. It's they've got like different leagues, like League and
League 1, League 2, League 3, and basically League 1 is the top of the country, where now there is 10 teams. They all face each other, and then the top 4 team will qualify for another event, which is called the Big Four, and the winner of that event, basically the captain of the team that win that event, become the French selectioner for the year that is coming. That's how it works. So basically, the 4 team you have now here is the 4 team that won the French league last year. I mean, that the top 4 of the French league last year. In that, we basically have 4 teams. So we have the Semi-Crossillon, which is basically the team of Olivier from Team France, the president captain. And he had like player in it that is like Ashord from the French Necron player, a really good player. You have the FTA team, which is a team more for.
Are these from like areas of France usually, or are they like just club teams?
No, generally they are a good club. I mean, they are like I think not for all of them, but like the Semi-Crossillon are basically they are from Paris.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of yokai, because a lot of them used to be Paris United.
Yeah.
Are like also Paris. Like you'll find that with a lot of teams, it's around Paris, with like some exceptions where.
I mean, FTA is from Bretagne, I think, like the west, like the northwest, like Bretagne. I don't, and Brittany. I mean, I don't so it's on English. It's basically Alban team. You have Alban in it. He's still playing base guard.
What?
What?
Where is it from? Nothing. Where is it? Give me the
Breton.
give me the give me the English version of it.
Oh, Brittany.
Brittany. Okay, cool. I'm picking up now. We're good. Keep going.
Yeah, I call it Bretagne because I don't know how to say
No,
it. In
that is. I mean, that is what it's called. It's called Breton.
Yeah.
Breton.
and
Brittany.
then you have the Yokai clan Keiju, which are basically two teams. Basically, two teams did make a fusion this year, which is quite new for them. So you have the No Name, which were basically a team from the south of France, so from like Lyon, Marseille, and the Paris United, that was historically another team from Paris, but that had people a bit everywhere in France because it started in Paris and then blow out a bit everywhere when people goes and go. That made a fusion and did switch our team, and they did two teams from that fusion. I'd say one of the stronger team, which is the Yokai clan, and the other one from a bit still strong because they are still the top of French player. But I would say the worst team out of the two made Keiju, which is the other team of that collective. And like in Yokai Clan, you'd see people. I think basically the team is all with ex-French player. You have the team is basically
Every single person on that team over there has won
yeah,
WTC. That's
yes.
just like it's just-
So that's a solid team because you have Johan, the Grenade player from 2 years ago, Le Bull, the Death Guard player from 2 years ago, Hugo Richardi, the Eldar player from 2 years ago. You have Aretas, the Eldar player from this year, Sako from the two last year, Red Slot, the Votan from this year, Matt Bonnet, the CSM slash World Eater player, and Nico, the Astra Militarum player. So that that team is pretty stacked, I would say. And
they are okay at Warhammer apparently.
yeah.
So
they kind of kill the competition, I'd say, I think, because in my opinion, it will be funny from my part if they don't win, because, I mean, they have a big advantage on the other in the fact that they have 8 of the strongest player, where the other team generally have like 2 to 3 of the strongest player only, right? So we'll see how it goes. And then the other team basically is still with good player. They are the top of the French meta, and they are running what you see there. I mean, they are still playing with the previous data slate because I think they submit the list.
last week, I think it was.
Yeah, last week.
I think it was last week.
Yeah.
Last week or the week before. It's like 2 weeks before or week before. I can't remember.
Yeah. I mean, so basically, the meta is going to be pretty close to what we had in DTC, I'd say. So the semi-cross team are running Space Wolf Gladius, League of Votan with the Berserk Detachment, Necron Awakening, Sister Champion of Fey, World Eater Warband. That this list is actually a bit wild. He had 2 6-men Exalted 8-bond before they got the bonus. So, I mean, that's a bit wild, but okay. They have a Crawford aspect war host, pretty common archetype. They are playing a Death Guard Taliban, so that is the demon detachment. So a bit of spice there, but interesting. Then they have Sika Infernal. Then the FTA have Death Guard Virulent. Alban is playing them. I think it's basically his WTC list minus the nerf from the last update. Some GK Banisher, the Chaos Cult, a bit of Wager, World Eater Warband, Crawford Aspect, Nitz Tunnels, and then Sika Infernal. And then the Yokai Clan have basically Death Guard Virulent, CSM Raider, the Swiss version with like a bunch of pred, a bunch of shooting and some noise, MSU goodness, CK Infernal, Crawford Aspect, Black Templar Stormlance, so really similar.
Gladius is interesting.
Yeah, no Gladius is interesting. I mean, but it's the same build. Instead of having some better shooting, they have always advanced fullback charge and a better react move. Then they have Isikotri, World Eater Warband, Astra Combine. And then the last team have Death Guard Virulent, CK Infernal, Necron Starshatter, Tyson Coven, a Custodes Lion, that's interesting, some CSM Raider, Nitz Tunnel, and Crawford Aspect. So just what it felt to me is that the meta in those teams are pretty similar. Like they basically all have Aspectors, they all have basically Infernal, and they all have almost like World Eater Warman. So it'd be interesting to see. I'd
They've
say
got Taliban is the only thing that's different. You know, all
yeah,
the other three have Virulent. The other
yeah.
have
So
Taliban.
like all those teams are pretty similar composition. So it's
Yeah.
interesting to see. We'll see. Like I mean, obviously they are not exact composition, but like we see they are playing in the same meta.
Yeah, it's
So
very close. Yeah, it's not like where you've got like the different countries within ETC, where it's like, oh,
yeah.
actually they're running this, they're running that. It's a bit different, it's a bit that. But yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if you have any advice about it. Like I mean, I think it's basically gonna come down to player skill on the table at the end of the day, because the matrix will be equivalent. So
Largely, like I don't think there's gonna be like any significant out pairings or anything because when you actually get to like doing the matrix and like I would assume that these four teams have a very similar matrix to one another because you know they have taken very similar lists and slash faction compositions, like you said. So the matrix, at least on all sides, is going to be very accurate. So like it is going to come down to, like you said, player skill, rather than anything with pairings. Because you know, after you do, it's like dominoes. After a while, like it just it just all falls together as it should. Really, it's not going to be any surprise unless someone really fucks up.
and I mean, and I guess the big question then is, who do you think is gonna win? I mean, you have basically, I'd say you have like two main contenders. I'd say it's, do you think Olivier will keep his title of
Semi-Crossillon
captain?
or Yokai is basically for me. And
Yeah,
I've got to back the boys. I've got to back Yokai. I've got to back the boys. Though it would be very funny if they lost.
I mean,
I'm Team Olivier. I think.
you,
Yeah, but
You're allying with the Taliban. How does that make you feel, Brian? That they've got the Taliban on their team as an American? Just
it's gonna sweep right past that one. Yeah, no, I think it's an uphill battle. But I think that some of it will come down to just like in the moment execution, and you know, I think the Yokai boys they're newer as a team, right? So like they're all friends and know each other, but sometimes that can be challenging to find a groove. You know what I mean? Kind of find what you need to really work well as a team. Maybe they're already past that point, but I think that's an advantage that Olivier's team has is they've been together longer.
Yeah, they want to do BTC together though, so I mean they were not all together, but that helped, I guess.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking for something here, man.
listen,
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I still will follow that event quite a bit. I think you can. I think they're gonna stream it in French, so if you're French, you can see it. If you're not, I guess sucks for you. I'll follow up.
That's perfect. Is it on French Wargame?
No, it's not gonna be on the French Wargame Studio. It's gonna be, but I can send you the link.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's gonna be this weekend. So I mean, in any case, it's gonna be interesting to follow up. Like, we might kind of try to invite one of the winner next episode or something to talk about it. We'll see. But yeah, I think that was it for today. I propose we do the show question now after the plug of Brian. Maybe I don't know what you think about that.
Oh, am I doing the plugs?
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Get up. Come on.
You are the champ of the plugs.
You're the champ. Dude, you're
You
the
did
plug
it.
champ.
You did it last time, so it has to be your task.
I'm trying to find the thing. Yeah, I think.
You want me to do it? I can do it.
If you have it up, if I can find it, I can do it.
It's okay. I'll do it.
Hey, one second. Is it not in like the pins, by the way?
It's in
it's not.
in YouTube resource, Brian.
I got it.
Come on, Brian.
All right, I got it. You guys ready for this? So first off, you should support the work that we all do, especially those of us on the main show as well, by going to our Patreon at patreon.com/statcheck. And then you can also check out the data dashboard we have on our website, statcheck.com/the meta. Learn all about how the different factions are doing at any given time. It's great data. We work really hard to get it put together. I say we because it's a royal we. I don't do anything for that, but I take advantage of it. And then, of course, there's Statcheck Coaching. These two fine gentlemen that are on the screen with me do coaching. You can get it from Liam, from Innes, from Nassim, from lots of different people. Not me, but there's great resources out to help you get better at 40K. We sell a bunch of merch as well, so you can check us out and buy some of our cool equipment. Liam being the head of the show, making himself nice and big. I think there's like objectives and dice and everything else you can buy. That's awesome. And they give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Red Dragon. Statcheck patrons get 50% off the entire store. So go to red-dragon.ca for that, and go buy his stuff. It's awesome. We also have another sponsor, Saltire Games, which is a lovely shop up in Scotland that I visited frequently while I was living up there. So shout out to AJ. Go check them out. They have some really cool equipment and gear and little widgets and everything else you can buy. That's great. You can buy all the WC terrain that we talk about all the time off of Wayland Yutani, and you get a 5% discount if you use the code StatCheck5 from their website. Or if you want to get some US or GW style terrain for the US Opens, check out J15 Games. He makes incredible widgets. Some of which that's where the rangefinder we got for the event is from, Liam.
Oh,
yeah, the thing was really cool. We're practicing with multiple.
They were nice. They were cool.
So he sells all those, but he also has GW style terrain. Liam's going to grab it, I think. And then you can get 10% off by using the code Statcheck. And then just check out some of our other events and other shows that are going on here. We've a lot of great ones out there, and I think you guys will really enjoy that. Nas, anything you want to shout out maybe for Team England? I know you guys have a couple plans coming up.
Yeah, we've got a few events coming up. We've got Battle of Britain in October, so that'll be good. Those are really cool. I want to try and get some of
those are amazing. With my name and stuff.
Yeah, did Dave sort that out shortly? Yeah, it was Dave. I'll speak to Dave.
No, that was Brian. That's not Brian.
Was that you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sweet. Yeah.
Oh
yeah, you are. So we've got a team event in October with Battle of Britain, as we do every year. We're going to be fielding 3 to 4 teams as we do, and we've got Prestige Gaming as well. Us up north in Barnsley. Me and Boris are going to that. We're going to be driving up, very romantic, for 3.5 hours up there. 8-man team events, the all WTC terrain, and it'll be streamed from my understanding. Battle of Britain, I'm not too sure. I'll have to come back on that one. But yeah, watch this space, and not much more currently for now, apart from getting ready for the next team event, which is ITT.
Are there did we do questions or did we skip questions by accident?
No, we were gonna do question. No, that's
okay. Okay, you can try.
I'm on board.
Yeah, good.
You are talking about Team England news, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let's maybe switch the question. It's actually pretty short list today, so I propose if you have any question in the chat, don't hesitate because we only have 4 questions. So it's gonna be fast. We can spend a bit of time about.
Are we gonna finish this in less than 2 hours? This is gonna be a first.
Yeah. And to be fair, we did start pretty late.
That's fine.
So Pumba is basically trolling Typhus and are asking is to exorcist us. And we did talk about it, and it is true that Typhus had a pretty difficult weekend, right? But he did told us at the start, right? He didn't have much time to practice, and he basically played the list he had, like the no-brain list, and I don't think it is working in the meta right now. No. Exorcist Sister is just like, they're actually not that reliable, and it's just 600 points that don't really play the mission.
And I mean, you also don't get as much stuff as you did before then, because at least before,
Yeah,
when like even when you had free exorcist, you had like 3 to 4 other units that played the middle, like at least delay the game for like a turn, maybe two, and score you points as they
yeah,
did that, which you can't do anymore.
yeah, and I don't think it worked. And I mean, I
Yeah,
shocked.
it would have been really nice if Typhus was at the event as well with us, but he was again just helping us from Poland. Yeah, it's just at least that's what.
The next question is a bit more interesting. People are asking, what faction are shaping up the big team meta? But we did answer that a bit, but like I'd say still like it's probably gonna be in my opinion, I say the two boogeyman in the meta in team is probably Ward Eater, Eldar.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I feel like pressure armies are starting to make a big comeback in teams. Like, there's always a couple, but it seems like there's more and more showing up.
Yeah,
I think what we've seen this year with more so the French with how they've done it, but it's like they've like the pressure armies are just skewing, and like that creates the dynamics within pairings. It's like, yeah, I can't deal with this, and like this is going to like not shoot me from behind walls that I can't deal with. This is going to be like I'm on all of the objectives, hating you close combat, where you're on the circles, and it just creates that sort of dynamic. It's like we're being a lot more deliberate with this choice and this role and what it wants it to do. I mean, like you said, like I mean, you had it with Raddy over the weekend, right? Like he crushed it, but like he went into stuff that he was just gonna fucking steamroll. Like he played this recon, just put him into the dirt.
Yeah,
Like it's just it's very strong hammer and pairings. It seems like, and it's the best way to do it is
yeah,
with pressure armies.
yeah. We will see a lot of pressure army coming back. Like we didn't mention Orc for sure. I mean, I know a lot of people are super high on EC. I'm actually not that high about them. Like I think they're good, but when you are not John Lennon, they are not as good as people may think it is. Like, I mean, I do have I think it was on the main show Tuesday where they were talking that EC will be really good. I think they are still pretty good, but I don't think they are actually that like I wouldn't put them in like auto include in a roster.
Yeah. So the way I felt with EC over the weekend was like it very much was like, oh my god, like I'm playing this game. Okay, it's going well. It's going really well, as like EC tends to do. But it always feels like like the first few battle rounds are always like a knife edge, where it's like, fuck, I really hope like I don't fuck this up or this doesn't go wrong. Compared to when you play like some other armies, it always feels a bit more stable at the start. Like EC feels very sketchy at the start, and then kind of evens out as the game goes on.
Okay, interesting thing.
Orcs, man. That's exactly. I listened to John talk about how he plays EC. Boris was talking about it, and I was like, "You just described literally my first 2 to 3 turns with Orcs. Like exactly what you do is what I'm doing with Orcs." So, and what you just described there about the game being real sketchy until suddenly you have your go turn. Yep, you're just
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. It's
I
just
don't
like,
lose the game.
yeah,
As long as I don't lose the game before my walk turn, we're good. But if I lose
yeah,
the game before then, it's not great.
yeah, no, 100%. And like, I'm just hoping that my dudes in boxes don't get
Ideally,
killed and
stay.
then
Yeah.
yes, stay alive or just the box dies and not the guys inside afterwards.
You stay over there, but not too far, just far enough for me to get you when I want to, but not. Yeah.
Okay, any other army that we didn't talk about come to mind? No, not really. Huh?
So everything else is kind of like reasonable to
I mean,
take.
what I have another question. They didn't. What you say is the best marine build right now? Because like
On
in
what
team
terrain set?
on WTC, obviously not like you. Let's stay team format. Because like obviously there is the new Raven Guard build that is kind of a menace on UKTC stuff like that. But I do not think that they're actually that good on WTC because of the terrain.
Yeah,
Like
no, I agree.
so like you'd say it's probably Black Templar, Space Wolf got nerf. Maybe like Blood Angel is still around. Like we didn't saw a lot
Yeah,
of Marines this event in ETC, right? They were like on the
yeah,
thing.
Blood Angels, I think are really interesting, especially with the buff to Sanguinary Guard now as well.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, and Black Templar is doing really good. I mean, it's the next question, I guess. so we can talk about it a bit deeper. But there are, someone is asking about where do you see Templar fitting in team? And I think and do any other do any other detachment than the Gladius have play? If you're willing to give them some pairing protection, that's the question. And I'm going to answer that. Yeah, what?
I can see Stormlands being decent.
I mean, I have actually spent, I would say, a lot of time talking about that, like with Dave and also with Hugo from France, that is playing also Black Templar. So I think my opinion is that Gladius is probably a bit better in single because it's more stable. You have a bit of a better tooltip, like you can have fallback shoot, fight on death, all of stuff that are really nice. But at the end of the day, if you want to push, I'd say Stormlance is better because you have a better army rules, and you will basically, because you can always go out in advance and charge, in opposite to have to decide when it is to your go turn, and you really only have one turn of advance and charge because you cannot advance and charge out of a transport as well in Gladius outside of the Asso doctrine, like the whack turn basically. You have the whack turn in Gladius where in Stormlands it's always the whack turn because you can always advance and charge. Your stratagem are a bit weaker in the fact that you only play with basically two stratagem, is Armor of Contempt and React Move, but they are two really good stratagem. Like the flat 6-inch React Move is so much better than the
D6.
Gladius one because D6 and you're never really in Asso Doctrine anyway, so like it's basically D6 most of the time.
Yeah.
And you can also on Stormlands advance and shoot, which is relatively useful for threat range, right? On the Gladiator, on the Repex. But I think the big buff to Stormlands is that when you have your unit behind a wall and you roll your advance just to stage, and suddenly you roll a 6 on your advance because you just roll it, you can maybe get opportunity that you cannot take in Gladius. That would be my take. So you have a lot more way of pushing with Stormlands because of the potential opportunity you get by rolling those advance just to get staging point. But actually, sometimes you're gonna roll your 6 on an advance that is actually opening you like a 6 and charge on something that is actually really juicy.
Yeah,
Stuff
yeah,
like
there's a
that.
lot more push potential, right, with
Yes.
like Stormlands because like
Yeah. Continue.
no, I was just gonna no, I can see it like because like a lot of the times like with Gladius you like you're gonna have your go turn like and it's like not really organic. It's very much like manufacturers like I'm gonna stage here, I'm gonna do this so that this following turn I'm gonna be in this position to do this. While Stormlands feels like you can leverage those situations where like I'm gonna roll an advance here. Oh, I rolled a 5. Actually, I can go for that 7-inch charge from behind the wall that I wouldn't have had available if I was playing Gladius, because you're not gonna put your entire army into the sort of doctrine if you're not gonna get a charge off. So no, so I can see that.
Mm-hmm. And the army rules is straight up better. I value army rule being better than stratagem in a lot of cases because at the end of the day, like your strat, you don't have a lot. Having good strat mean you need to keep your strat for those good strat, and like the core stratagem in a lot of matchup are often more important. Like it's more important to heroic or to do a rapid ingress or maybe a key overwatch than doing doing like a Storm of Fire on a Repex, right? Or stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I think Stormlands is just a better army.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But Gladius have more tools. And I think you see mainly Gladius because of that. But
Also, like it really activates the repulsors. Like giving X-ray pinning no cover is like big.
It is really big.
Yeah.
Okay. The next question. There is a question for you, Nassim. How much IQ is it required to set up your name and description correctly on your streams?
Dude, it is correct. That is my name,
No.
and that's my subtitle.
Yeah, but okay, so I should call you Give Me +1 to Wound on Oath, please.
Yes.
Instead of Nassim.
Yes, please,
Good old give me.
please.
Yeah.
One of my
Yeah.
favorites.
So
I mean, you can just call me +1 to win. You know, I can go by
okay.
that as well.
Okay, +1 wounds. I'll call you like that.
+1 to win. So upsetting.
You fucker. So I think that the last question about today.
You have a couple.
There is a couple in the chat that we can take because we have a bit of time. I propose. We have Luper that is asking why are Eldar doing so well, and a lot of love prospector detachment from League of Votan is not getting play at all. They seem to have the same tool set. I mean, for context, I think it is a detachment where when you shoot at 2 units, they get slow. And they have like a lot of react move into the stratagem. So it's a tricksy army. I think the big stuff about Eldar is that the secret is actually not that tricksy and actually have a lot of output. Like being tricksy is less important being tricksy is less important than actually having output and reach. Like the big tricks of Eldar is that they can actually most of their unit can move like 14 to 16, or maybe even like 24 to 26, and still reach you. So they have like a super, they have an insane amount of reach, and the output is also pretty high. That's, I'd say, why they are so good. It's not because of the tricks. Like the go back into the transport is a nice way of protecting your big unit, and is a bit of a unfun mechanics, I say. But the big thing is it's because it's a 10-man fire dragon with Frigan that it's really strong. And it is because you have like a lot of orcs, a lot of like Lickies is amazing, Gensar as well, that are super fast and actually can apply their damage anywhere on the board and have like a good amount of damage. That's why Eldar is strong. It's not because they are tricksy. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if
I think I generally agree. I mean, the ability to apply your damage en masse in a single spot of the board quickly and reposition is, I think, their biggest asset. Yeah, they have like the tricks you can play around, but the
I mean, they've got enough tricks as well, right? Just built in to just their rules.
yeah, but I don't think it's like that kind of tricky play is how Eldar managed to wiggle us, in the words of Nick, a 7 or an 8 in a matchup where they maybe were supposed to get a 5 or a 4, right? But they're winning games because they're able to take an army from a relatively defensive position to a really aggressive position, like flip it on a dime, right? And they can really quickly, really fast. Yeah, so I think that's certainly, at least when I've seen Eldar be used well, that's how it's being used.
Yeah, and like indeed, like basically the Eldar is the hunter waiting for the mistake of your opponent that punish really hard, and it's really easy to do a mistake against Eldar. So, like, voila. I don't know if any of you guys have any question in the chat. I mean, if not, I think we can finish up and we'll have a sub 2-hour episode. That's, I think, something that never have been done in the story of Enter the Matrix.
2-hour episode, dude. That's like, I mean, well, it's still pretty close to 2 hours to be fair. So it's like not too far off.
Yeah. I'm not unhappy about that because my high are starting to get close because it's basically 1 hour and a half AM at here, and I still think I have to pack a lot of things because my house is a lot of is messy, but I'll try my best to not fall asleep.
Yeah, I guess
so.
We can say, I guess, we're all going to LGT. I know that much this upcoming weekend.
Oh yeah, we are all going to LGT in 2 weeks. It's going to be fun.
There's some cool people that are trying to run it back with the same armies we had before, and there's some people in this chat who maybe are not trying to do that. So,
dude, I'm running it back to like what I did in my first year, which sorry, my second year, which is just like army hop 2 weeks before the event and just get a game or 2 games in every day and be like, what does this do? This is really good.
This is why Nassim plays every army in the game, so he can at any time in any conversation defend himself, being like, "I've always played this army."
Dude, I'm a Marine player. What do you mean?
You were you were a Iron Hand player, not a Marine player.
I love Uppy Downy. I have Death Watch that I have not used since WTC 2023. They're still in that sim box, but I'm a Marine player. They're all
Well, for
gold and
everybody,
purple.
everyone that wants to tailor against me, and only me, because I'm probably going to be one of the 3 orc players at the event. I am playing orcs, so get ready for
He's
the
he's taking a bad list with stuff in it.
I mean,
Don't
there's going to be gas call. There's going to be 20 boys. Are they always going to be joined? I don't know, but sometimes they will be, and it's going to be great.
I'm probably playing CSM and
Probably.
playing.
See, probably.
No, I am definitely playing my list from this weekend. But I don't think. I mean, I'm only one person, so you shouldn't really tailor against me. There is no reason why you should.
Mhm.
Yes, me too. Don't Taylor. I will be the only Reverend God person there because I don't get +1 to win.
Yeah, the only
Yeah.
grieving or play, I'm sure.
But it's gonna be fun, exciting. I'm actually playing the Invitational as well.
Yeah, because you're
So
I don't know how you could possibly do that. It's so many games at Warhammer.
It's a lot.
yeah,
But he
but,
can't. He can't win both now. There we go.
You can't, yeah, that's nothing. You can't even win the Invitational. So why are you playing the Invitational?
well, because I want to have. I mean, I'm not maybe gonna make the top cut. Who knows? And also, I'm like trying to. It's a nice way of getting some reps on terrain on the table the day before.
If you 3P, are you just not allowed to play the event anymore? Are you retired?
What?
No, he's just going to go for it a 4th time.
I think the 3P is it.
He's not going to win this year. He's taking CSM on these boards. He's going to lose to Timmy and his GSC army by accident. I'm like, what do you mean?
It's gonna be great.
I mean, I'm ready to lose every single game.
Mhm.
We'll see. I was already ready to lose every single game last year, so like we'll see if I can repeat myself.
Dude, there's no Lucius to protect you now.
No, there is the worst part is there is no Huron in my list,
There's no
which
Huron.
is Huron, but
Right,
yeah.
Brian might actually beat you now.
Yeah,
I'm saying
I
mine
mean,
is better than it was last time. Your army is worse. So surely that means that I don't throw the game away again.
No, but you're gonna int 20 boys with guys out of the web. Like, surely these guys will kill Tid Chosen. Sure,
Hey,
I was like,
that boy unit of boys is +1 a wound. Okay, I think you'll find they'll do better. Plus gas.
my army is actually not worse than last year. I'm not agreeing with that statement. So
Look,
he's
I
putting
think
you
so.
fucking wrong.
What's
Idiot.
important?
I got buff in that data state, so I won't let you do that. No, Fabius Ball is actually coming back at the end of the phase, not during the activation. So I got a significant buff in the data state, so
Yeah.
that is good enough for me.
I just want to see, Liam, that you show up to the board with a binder that is a picture of your like twisted, deformed corn berserker that says "I am a chosen," so you can reference the map and be like, "Chosen model, cool. Legionnaire model, cool. Got it."
I have my noise model that are way better than last year, because
okay.
last year I had like the printy weird version because I couldn't find any noise. And now I have the true model, so my nodes will be amazing. And I actually made them commission.
Joe,
You just want to use my Noise Marines.
Yeah, well, Joe
painted.
Joe was joking that my army was found in a garage sale. Liam's army was actually found at a garage sale.
No, his army was found outside. Which
It
outside somewhere.
It was after a garage sale. It's the things they threw away because
yeah, just like Liv's like, oh, I'll use this. I do. This is painted really well. Yeah, it's got 4 colors on
it. Well, looks like there is no more question.
It's a good, good outfit. There's a lot of good players coming. Scar is coming. Olivier is coming. I have 7 out of 8 of the Ignite guys are there. I know almost all the War Masters guys surely are there, right, Mouse?
Quite a few of us.
Yeah, it's going to be a good competition. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing, like always. And at worst, we'll get a good time drinking and eating, and it's going to be cool.
Exactly. Hopefully, no murders outside this time.
Dude, there's never a murder inside the French-speaking Airbnb. It's just like there's like a mostly naked Liam and like rest of the French.
There wasn't a murder outside of the Airbnb or inside the Airbnb either. It was just immediately outside of it. So, yeah. It's fine.
Well,
it works out. So,
yeah.
And on that note,
We're
Yeah.
under 2 hours.
Let's. I mean, we got a question now, so I guess we should answer. It's gonna take 5 minutes. The big
Yeah.
difference between UKTC and WTC is that UKTC you have open board edge basically and super long shooting lane. With on the WTC you have a bit more terrain, and it's designed for team where UKTC is designed for single.
Yeah.
think-
On
you-
those,
The
I think
UKTC boards also really reward strat reserve shooting, and I say strat reserve shooting, but it's just like not deep strat reserve shooting.
Yeah,
Just-
so UKTC boards are, I think they're like pretty defensible on turn one, usually, but then it's really hard to screen from safety, right? If you want to screen strat reserves, you're just putting your guys out there. You're just like this is what they're doing.
They're dying. They are.
They're
And you
dead,
never want.
like they're achieving a goal.
You never want to send stuff just to screen usually as well.
Yeah, WC you can control space a lot better for longer from positions of relative safety, right? Where your opponent has to be a little more aggressive to kind of clear those screens. And so I think that the way that ends up is WC maps are more conducive to draws happening if both sides are playing it correctly and want to. While UKTC maps, you're kind of forced to go at some point, so you end up being a little more aggressive. Plus, it's singles, so you want to be a little more aggressive anyway. So the two kind of feed into each other.
okay, so I think we are good on that note,
Yeah.
and we can finish just a sub 2 hour. So guys, thanks. Thanks for listening. I think we're supposedly gonna do an episode next month or something. I think I have a team event in Germany in October.
Yeah.
I mean, like you told, you have like the British Battle of Britain, stuff like that. So we'll see about that later. I mean, you'll be away alert anyway. So thanks for listening and see you later, guys. Ciao.
Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure.
So yes.
Always difficult to